welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire. I am your 7th-star mystic, and I'm going to be doing another masculine feminine energy update. I got a lot of really good responses for the last one I did, so I'm going to continue to do those with the disclaimer that masculine and feminine can be transcended. Gender is a spectrum. It's not just masculine or feminine. However, it's like a controlled way of looking at energy. You know, you just have the two elements to weigh against each other, and everybody has masculine and feminine within them. If you agree to that, there are some people who would say otherwise, and I totally respect all of the different ways of looking at energy and stuff like that. So just let me know what you're thinking. I'm excited to get into this. Please like and comment on my videos if you want to help me out as a YouTuber and also as, you know, an aspiring professional reader, basically. The more traction I get, the more likely I am to have clients, and which I would love to have more of. I just did a reading for my first actual client, which was really exciting, and so if you're watching this, thank you. I'd love to have more clients, so if you want to book a reading with me, check out the info in the description box below, and let's begin. So first card out, so today I'm using the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. Super great. So I'm going to get a card representing the feminine collective and like where the feminine collective is at. This can be you compared to somebody you're dealing with, or it can be just different parts of your own energy. Feminine being traditionally more internal, emotional, masculine being more traditionally external and structure-oriented, like logic-oriented. So for the feminine, we have the Chariot. Love it. For the masculine, we have Page of Fire. Interesting. This is weirdly, it's cool because as I'm starting to do these collective readings, I'm realizing how cohesive they are. Like, this is similar to the last collective reading I did for feminine and masculine, which makes sense because this is an update. The Chariot is about forward movement. It's about willpower. It's about being and committing yourself to going in a certain direction. It's saying you can do it, but you have to focus. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anybody stop you from doing what you feel you're supposed to be doing right now. Use your discernment. Follow your gut. And so this is where the feminine collective is. They're kind of launching right now. And it is taking some self-discipline. Let's get a clarifier for fun. From the Cosmic Tarot. Okay, so we have the World. So the feminine collective is wrapping up old cycles, old ways of being, old ways of doing things that don't work anymore. And it's saying, job well done. You've done a good job. Now go forth and be amazing. Feminines. Cool. So for the masculine, we have Page of Fire. This is similar, but it's more, I'm getting more of a nose to the grindstone, or it's more of a sporadic sparks flying. I see sparks flying, and receiving exciting news. It's a card of having to be creatively resourceful. So for the masculine aspect, whether it's a masculine person in your life or you and your masculine, more like external side that you show to the world, this applies to both. Masculine collective right now is, I'm seeing this almost as like masculines have recently been feeling like this sense of reborn a little bit, like similar to the feminines, but with masculine, it's like I'm starting on a completely new level. You know how in a video game, when you start the next level, it's like, oh, I gotta get used to this. Like, I didn't know that was over there. That wasn't there in the last level. And kind of like these things popping off where it's just like, oh, here's a new thing I got to deal with. Here's a new thing I got to interact with. How am I going to, and it's like problem solving. So masculine collective is finding creative ways to problem solve right now and regaining confidence if there wasn't confidence, or up leveling their sense of confidence. So, interestingly enough, I love plot twists. The devil came out to complement this card. So masculine collective, hear me now when I say, do not let anything or anyone make you feel trapped. Don't let anything or anyone make you feel that you are worthless. Don't let anybody talk down to you. The devil card is misunderstood. It has a lot of different meanings. The meaning I'm telling you right now is what I'm channeling. Like, if you think that there's no other option for you, you're wrong. There's a lot of different ways things can go right now. And it's all about having faith and trust in yourself as well. And the devil can indicate that, you know. Having faith and trust. Also, it's kind of hard to interpret because the devil can be pretty heavy energy, masculines, and you may be struggling with feeling weighed down right now, but just know that no matter what your circumstances are, you have a lot of creative ideas. You have a lot of ways of figuring out what you can do. And in our world right now, there's a lot of heavy things going on. There's a lot to deal with, and so just know that there is ways we can work with all of this that's happening right now. So let's see what else is going on. What's a challenge for the feminine right now? The 9 of Water. Interesting, it's coming up in the challenge. Maybe feminine collective is feeling like the things they want and the things they wish for are not accessible to them at this time. Okay? Feminine collective may be feeling like they're struggling with even overindulgence, or that there's just too much emotion right now. They may be super emotional at this time. I've never channeled that for the 9 of Water before, but it's almost like overwhelming, especially because the feminine represents water element and earth. But the thing about it is the oceans are rising. There's also a huge uprising of emotions right now because of current events, and there's a lot of compassion that's needed, a lot of healing that's needed. So the feminine collective is dealing with perpetuating this healing energy without being overwhelmed. That's a very specific message I'm getting. To clarify that, we have Temperance. Interesting. Balance is key right now. Ride the wave. You do not have to feel like you will drown in it. You can float. You can be half... that's so weird because literally something about the Temperance card is that one foot is on land and one foot is in water, traditionally. And I'm like talking about feeling overwhelmed by emotion. Keep one foot grounded on land. Find a tether, which is interesting because the devil is a tether traditionally. What tethers us to this physical material world, right? So count on your masculine, count on your energy, whether it's a person that's your significant other, or whether, you know, whoever you are, however you're reading this, you can count on them to help keep you tethered or stable or grounded so you don't feel overwhelmed and you don't feel like you're drowning, because Temperance is all about balance. It's also about patience, having patience, which is a very interesting theme right now because we're all being called to have patience for things that take time in our world right now that are out of our control. So what's a challenge for the masculine? For the masculine, we have the King of Fire as the challenge, which is really interesting because this is talking about being extremely confident, going forward with plans of action in a really determined and bold and exciting way. And maybe the masculine is feeling a lack of confidence right now. He's feeling like he's not sure what direction to take. Maybe he doesn't know, maybe he's not feeling super motivated at this time, which is understandable because, it can be a sign of being discouraged or a lack of focus. So, I want to encourage you to, it's funny how the masculine and feminine are playing with each other in this reading right now because, I'm encouraging the feminine to rely on the masculine or to touch in on her own masculine to keep her tethered and balanced and grounded in this world so that she feels like she's not overwhelmed. And at the masculine, I'm calling him to rely on the feminine to realize that he needs to have patience with himself, and this is attainable to you. The fact that it came up in this reading, even though it's a challenge, it's here for you to rise to the challenge. Rising waters from the feminine side, the waters are rising. The masculine, don't fight that. Don't fight the flow, because if you go with if you allow some flexibility and some lenience with yourself, you will reach this state of confidence and a self-assuredness. So let's get a clarifier. Ooh, justice. So to go with the King of Fire, we have justice. So maybe you're feeling a little disempowered right now, masculine. It's because you're looking to see a new version of right and wrong. And you're also being called to reevaluate what right and wrong is for you. And that takes courage, and I commend you because it is not always easy to do that. It's not always easy to do that, to say, I am going to reevaluate what is right and wrong for me, and I'm going to change my moral code to be more sustainable, to be more fitting for this world and for my life and my environment. Maybe before you had been like, emotional leniency? What is that? I don't need that in my life. Like, I'm doing just fine being this certain way, but actually, you're being called and you may be struggling with having the courage to realize, it's funny that, the masculine gets balance through justice and the feminine gets balance through temperance. That's both in the challenge position for them both. So it's cool how they play off of each other, not only in the people around you, especially your significant others, but also for your inner dynamics as well. So next we have advice for the feminine collective. The Lovers is the advice for the feminine collective. Very interesting. So this is not only advice, this is guidance right now. It's funny, in this reading, the masculine and feminine have been kind of working together. So this is a call to, if you're in a significant relationship or friendship, work together with this person at this time. It's funny, we are all being called to quarantine, and many people are quarantining with their lovers. And it's actually a time to strengthen your relationship. That's one message. Now, some people are single, right? Or they don't have a significant other. And this is being called to, the Lovers isn't just about relationships. It's about making significant decisions. It's funny, we have justice and temperance and the Lovers. It's all a balancing act of what matters to you right now and deciding what matters to you and weighing your decisions carefully, right? So it can also be if you've been hurt in the past and your emotions have been hurt and you've been betrayed in some way or another, or led on or lied to, or if you feel betrayed even by yourself. Healing is essential at this time. There's huge vibes of healing happening, and so it's really important that you allow for that. And like I said, you don't have to get overwhelmed. Do what is reasonable, even if it's just a little bit at a time. Always make sure that you're maintaining balance. But let's see what clarifies the Lovers for the feminine. Six of Swords. Yeah, so well, I hope you have a fun time voting. And I'm going to do it later. Let me know how the polls are.
I will.
Okay. Bye. So we have the Six of Swords. This is talking about letting go of old baggage, basically. You're being called, feminines, to let go of old baggage and move on to a more, what do I want to say? Moving on to a calmer state of mind, moving on to a more peaceful state of mind as well, right? So your advice is to just find a peaceful, balanced state of mind and realize that you don't have to be afraid anymore. It's important to heal your heart. And if if you're in a good situation, say you're in a happy relationship or something like this, or a working relationship, just take note that you can let go of the things that don't matter, especially in times like these. Realizing what really matters, what's really important, and focusing on that. And that's a huge theme for the feminines in their advice position right now. Now let's get advice for the masculine at this time. Masculine, you're being called to focus on building towards your goals in terms of, I gotta elaborate on that. So instead of having goals, it's important to have systems that work. Because if you have a system, the system will not only get you your goal, it will continue to reap you benefits and rewards. I was just talking about this in the reading I just did. You build a machine to do a job, and all you have to do is maintenance the machine, and the machine does the work for you. We can do this mentally, emotionally, and physically. Building systems means that you can adhere yourself to the system that you built instead of having to do so much work. It's hard for me to elaborate on this because that can mean so many different things depending on your situation, but Ten of Pentacles is just having a happy life, and you have everything you need, and just focusing on that, even if you feel like you're not there right now. Focus on it. What would that look like for you in a way that's attainable and reasonable and achievable, right? Don't say, I want to make $1,000 by tomorrow if you can't do that, This is also realizing that the world is full of magic and appreciating what you have. So it's really important to appreciate what you have while also focusing on how you can set up systems for yourself to succeed, to truly succeed. So to elaborate on that, we have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is the rest and rejuvenation card. Interesting. Lots of us are quarantined right now, as I've mentioned before. Please take this time to meditate on what it is you need to feel like you are supported and happy, and that your life is fulfilling. And if it's not fulfilling, don't worry. This is not a time to be worrying. It's funny that the feminine got Six of Swords, which is like easing your mind, finding a calmer place of mind, and masculine gets like resting and rejuvenating. There's in like the traditional tarot deck, it's like a knight or like a character like laying on the bed like he's taking a little nap. Right? That's the Four of Swords. Just take it easy for a minute. You will have access to everything you need. You'll get the confidence you need, masculine. And feminine, you will find healing and the willpower to move forward in a direction that is suitable for you. So, I'm just going to get an overarching energy for both right now. That's fun. Overarching energy being, oh, ego. Ego, I can't remember what card this correlates to in the traditional tarot deck. Ego talks about breaking through false senses of entrapment. Some people are overly focused on material things right now, which, I mean, that is a struggle for people right now. Fear, being afraid of losing things, losing money, losing their job, losing their assets, it's very real and valid. But this is kind of asking us right now to take a look at the things we're worried about and how much they truly matter to us, how much energy we should be putting in. Let's get a clarifier for that. And then I'll cut the switch. Strength. Very self-explanatory. I actually think that this is the strength card now that I'm realizing it. Maybe it's not. They go together really well. Ego, so you're finding strength and realizing that there's some things you're worried about that at the end of the day, you know, they don't matter as much as you thought they did because you still have your family. You still have, you know, your passions, even if everything maybe feels, you know, unstable or you're struggling right now in some way. And if you are, I want you to know you're not alone and you are supported and we can all support each other right now. Okay, but just this ego with the strength is overcoming things that are fear-based, overcoming our fears and fearful thoughts and realizing that everything can and will work out in some way or another, even if it takes adjustment, even if it, you know, even if we feel insecure, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna come out stronger in the end, right? So that's a really awesome masculine, feminine reading update. I hope you can relate somehow, and I hope that it was insightful for you somehow and that you liked the reading. Please comment below. Please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will be back with an update for y'all soon. Have a good day.